Are your airbrush projects looking less like masterpieces and more like a splattery mess? Believe it or not, the secret isn't always your paint or even your technique. It's often a silent culprit: air pressure. In this video, I'm going to share with you tips on how to dial in your air pressure so that you can create the artwork that you've been dreaming of. Let's get into it right now. So this particular compressor has two separate outlets. It's the Awada IS975 PowerJet Pro, and I'm going to use this to demonstrate general airbrushing pressure and detailed airbrushing pressure. So for general airbrushing, I run at about 30 psi, which is about there, so just over 2 bar. And then for detailed airbrushing, I run at about 18 to 20 psi. I'll set this up at around 20, makes it a bit easier for you. So that's just over the 1 bar, not quite 1.5 bar. So I'm using the Awada HPCS Eclipse, and this is spraying at 30 psi. If you're enjoying this video, then consider subscribing and give this video a like. And you can see I can get nice broad spray, solid lines. I can colour in easily. Now the biggest thing, as well as your PSI, is your paint thickness. So with this PSI, when I'm doing general, or what I call general airbrushing, so if I'm painting on, say, paper like this, or I'm doing wall murals, t-shirts, then I'll run 30 psi and I'll have my paint thinned out at a 1:1 ratio. Now this is true when using the Trident paints. Every paint company is different, but generally that works well for me. And if you start with that 1:1 ratio, you can always add more reducer or thinner, whichever your paint company recommends, to thin it out. So if it's spattering, then you know that you need to maybe turn your PSI up a little bit. And if that doesn't work, then just thin out your paint. Or if the paint's spidering out like this, then you want to maybe thicken up your paint or reduce your PSI. But for general airbrushing, a good rule of thumb is that 1:1 paint mix at 30 psi. Now I'm going to demonstrate the detailed airbrushing. Now this suits brushes like the Awada Micron CM-SB. This is the version 1 now superseded and replaced with the Takumi, the Gallery Mobius 0.2mm, the GSI Krios PS771. So this one, as well as the CM-SB, run a 0.18mm needle nozzle setup, whereas the Gallery runs a 0.2mm. But all of these brushes and anything like up to a 0.23mm will work really well with that 70-30 mix, so 70% reducer, 30% paint, and at about a 18 to 20 psi. Now even though the brushes that I just showed you that run the smaller needle and nozzle setups are perfect for that 70-30 mix at 20 psi, to do a fair comparison, I'm going to demonstrate with the same colour, which was indigo blue by Trident, and this one's already pre-mixed at that 70-30 ratio. And you'll be able to see how well even this airbrush with a 0.35mm needle nozzle will be able to get fine detail at this PSI setup and paint mixing ratio. So even at this reduced PSI, I'm still able to blast on the paint, get nice consistent lines. However, the real benefit is less tip drying and the ability to go super fine. So you can see I'm able to do really fine dots, no problem at all. And keep in mind this is a 0.35mm needle nozzle setup, and I can almost make this perform as though it's a 0.18mm or a 0.20, something like a micron. Do you want to learn more about airbrushing and really fast track your learning? Then you can definitely check out our online airbrushing course at airbrushasylum.thinkific.com. You can see there, really fine. I mean, you wouldn't need to go any finer than that really in your artwork. That's why I love the Eclipse so much. It is one of those brushes that you can get this amazing performance out of it, but it also is great for larger jobs like your murals, t-shirts, that sort of thing. So it's just a perfect all-round brush, one that I highly recommend to beginners. If you are starting out, you could also look at the GSI Krios. They also make really nice airbrushes, something like the PS289. Pache also have great brushes. I reviewed the Talon recently. That's a nice little brush to use. And some of the gallery brushes as well, if you're on a bit of a budget, are worth a look. I'll link up to all of the brushes in the description of the video. But you can definitely notice now, if I pull back when I'm up close, it's a lot wetter because of that thinner paint mix, and that reduced PSI does help, but again, you still need a bit of control. So just adjust your PSI accordingly. If you want finer detail, drop it down. That way you can work up closer to the surface without worrying too much about blasting out the paint because of the air pressure hitting the surface, because it's too high and your paint might be too thin. And for general airbrushing, run it a bit higher and run your paint thicker. But these tips will definitely help you to improve your artwork and allow you to get the detail or coverage that you need.